right. All right, all right, all right. And we are live. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and check the factory. So we don't have anything crazy happening from now till 8:30 a.m. So that's until New York. And we have news at 12 p.m. At 12 p.m. Okay. Oh, let's go ahead and talk about the pairs that we had marked up yesterday. Starting with gold. So notice how price failed to hold at resistance. And I talked about how basically a lot of people are hopping in for sales, right? So if a lot of people are hopping in for sales, imagine the amount of money floating above that area. So when you guys see something like this, you see a lot of wicks, or you see price make an impulsive break, it's because it's grabbing those orders. So I anticipated price to have a nice breakout, and if anything, we were going to catch a nice pullback entry for a continuation if price decides to continue to range in our newly formed range 2. Scaling in, you guys can see that price is back at that newly formed support, but it is kind of choppy. It's not the cleanest break and retest because you have price coming in and out, right? So we're going to keep an eye on gold throughout London and New York. Euro CAD, we anticipated price to have a breakout back in the range 1. As you guys can see, price totally avoided my analysis and decided to push up. So we can still keep this for next week, but I doubt price is going to make its way back down to support this Friday. But I'll still keep this up for next week because this isn't a bad setup. Eventually, if price does decide to come back down, we can still anticipate a nice clean breakout back in the range 1, hitting that nice demand. So I'm going to keep this here. Euro GBP, I don't think we had an analysis. I'm looking at price right now. This could be a nice clean setup if price decides to have a break. But I'm looking at previous price, and this isn't the cleanest traffic, right? If we're coming over here, it's not the cleanest traffic because we have candles going in and out, and I'm pretty sure that's a bullish candle in between those bearish ones. So we could, if anything, say that this is a nice zone of supply, right? Putting that nice box or zone wick to wick and then dragging it out. We could say this is a nice supply zone. So we'll see how price reacts off of the zone. We might be able to catch a move, London or New York. So I'll have this marked up green. And ideally, we want to try to catch that nice 50% move, right? So I'll just have an alert here. And I'll say watch price. Okay, Euro JPY, again, we still have this nice setup to be played throughout the week. I doubt we're going to have it this morning or Friday, but I'm still going to keep this up heading into next week because we have this nice range formation and we're waiting for a breakout. Even the downside would be ideal if we do have that nice entry next week. But right now, I'm going to keep this here in case price decides to break into range 2. So that we can catch a nice breakout entry or a nice pullback entry. So this is still valid for now. But I doubt we're going to get it this morning or tomorrow. So I'm going to keep that flagged. We can flag it green. And this is going to be flagged red or orange for next week. And then the trade that we placed yesterday was on GBP USD. I placed a buy stop, anticipating price to go into range 2. As you guys can see, it is still ranging in range 1. So price is not sure if it's ready to have that nice breakout. We identified liquidity as well. So again, we're going to keep this here for next week, but I doubt we're going to get that move or that play this morning or tomorrow. If anything, this is a nice opportunity for a buy, but we got to be careful because it could come back down to this range, right? So we can say this is range 1. This is range 2. And then this would be range 3, just like this. Right? So I'm going to keep an eye on this pair this morning because we could try to get a nice move or entry. But if price does decide to continue to push down, we will try to look for that nice demand entry at that 50%. So we're going to keep an eye on GBP USD. We're going to try to find some sort of move or entry this morning. So I'm going to flag this green. And then we have those other 3 pairs. As you guys can see on Forex Factory, we don't have too much going on this morning. 2 a.m. trade balance, 4 a.m. current account, and they're all yellow folders. So it's not a lot of impulsive action going on. 8:30, we have USD unemployment claims and Philly Fed manufacturing index. So that would be post New York or post New York stream because I won't be live. And later today we have Fed Chair Powell speaks at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. That's pretty much it. So we're gonna come back to GU, Euro, JPY, Euro, GBP, and gold in the next 15 minutes. But I'm gonna keep a close eye on GBP, USD for now. Danny Viking, what's good, my boy? Appreciate you for tuning in. What do you think about Euro USD? Euro USD, I don't have an eye on it right now. Let's go ahead and analyze it real quick. So top-down analysis, noticing that price is in some bearish trend. It's pushing down. It's starting to push up a little. We go on the 4-hour. So most people, what I'm seeing already, most people would say this is a nice fib or a bearish continuation because you could place it from here to here. My only issue is you don't have any previous structure to support this. So you would be at risk. Plus the move pretty much already happened. So if you were trying to catch this move, you would have had to identify some sort of break of structure, which would be around here. Price is pretty choppy, but you would have been able to hop in right here at the start of that trend if it is going to be a continuation. But right now, in terms of hopping in for a bearish trend, I think you'd be at risk because you don't really know what's going on right now. You don't have clear structure. Plus, it is looking a little choppy, so I'm not really sure what price wants to do. But if you were around this area before you had that push, you could have capitalized on this move if you wanted to. But because you don't have previous structure to back up this continuation, you would still be at risk. Although it did play out the way most sellers wanted it to, there's no previous structure to support this. So I think for now, just keep an eye on it. But I don't see a setup at the moment. So ideally on GU, if we can get a nice entry off of that zone, that would be better rather than entering right now because we'd be able to capitalize on a bigger pip count, right? Also, we have this as a confluence to say, hey, there's a reason for price to push back down in the range 1 because we had sellers hopping in right here previously and orders have not been grabbed yet. So if price does decide to come back into range 1, we can use this as a confluence saying, hey, that there's orders that need to be grabbed. And then if we can, we'll capitalize on that nice move if price decides to tap that demand, right? So that's what I'm anticipating on GU to avoid any type of fake outs or anything like that. We want to play it 100% safe. So I'm going to wait to see if price decides to push in just a little bit. If it taps the zone, cool. Best type of entry if it hits that nice 50% level that I have marked up, so that we can have a nice type stop loss. But otherwise, I'm just going to wait, guys, until price decides to come back into this range. Just to play it safe. But we'll see what happens in the next 15 minutes. And if you did place a the buy stop that I had marked up, you can go ahead and delete it. And we'll come back to that next week, since that setup is still valid, but price isn't currently near that. I think it was support. Yeah, price isn't near support right now, or resistance. I'm sorry. I'm going to scale in. Price isn't near that resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that order in a second. We might get a move on Euro JPY this morning. Price is nearing that 50% level. But Euro JPY is looking really good for that push. If we can't get it that morning, that's great. If not, I'm going to hold on to that analysis heading into next week. It's looking really good, guys. Let's see if we have any news on FX Street. Australia's unemployment rate arrives at 3.6% in September. Employment change comes in at 6.7K. Euro USD stays vulnerable below 105.50 on USD strength, risk off mood. Euro USD is trading on the defensive below 10.550 in early Europe on Thursday. Gold price has entered a phase of bullish consolidation near 1950. So again, when it comes to these news announcements on FX Street, you don't have to read the whole paragraph. Just try to get a good summary of what price was doing or why it moved the way it moved. So gold price has entered a phase of bullish consolidation near 1950. You can always just look back on your chart to see if this is accurate. This is 1950. As you guys can see, it's in a phase of consolidation because price is pretty stagnant after we had that push above that newly formed support. All right. So it's consolidating above this area, as you guys can see, after all of these orders were grabbed by sellers. So we'll see what happens in the next 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to analyze any pair, feel free to shoot any type of currency, and I will do so. But I'm going to chill in the next 10 minutes, play music, and I'll be back to find some entries. All right, so on GBP I might have to be a little bit aggressive this morning. And when I say aggressive, yes, I'm anticipating price to push down to range one and hit that nice demand. But in reality, in order for price to do that, it would have to push in to range one, right? Have a pullback and then have a continuation. So what I'll do instead, since price is pretty stagnant, if it does decide to push in and then close below that newly formed resistance, I'd hop in for that sell and wait for that push. Pre-New York, I guess, if that makes sense. Or we'll see what happens. I might just place a trade for that breakout and have my stop loss wide enough so that if it does have the pullback, we'll still be in the trade. We'll see what happens in the next 4 minutes, so just be prepared. Because again, we have this as a confluence, guys. And this as well, I'm sorry. So that's what I might do in the next 4 minutes. We'll see. Because if you think about it, the only way this would go wrong, so yes, if price is respecting this support, it's just building up more liquidity, right? So heading in the next week, we probably could get that push. But let's say if price does push in and our trade is activated, the only way this would go wrong is one, if it's a fake out, or two, if it just grabs these orders, or that is a fake out. I'm sorry. Fake out usually occurs when there's orders above or below a certain zone or area, and then it gets grabbed and then it continues pushing in the current range it was in. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this morning is also moving pretty slow. I'm also experimenting, guys, so I might just start doing London and New York streams in the same vicinity. So 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and then I take like a 3-hour power nap, wake up for 6:30 and run through 8:30. So I do streams back to back. I'm kind of just seeing if London session is as volatile, I guess, because this is my first London session in Q4, so we'll see. But I wouldn't mind doing them back to back, honestly. I wouldn't mind it. But I do feel like majority of people trade New York session. I feel like it's too loud. I feel like majority of people trade New York session because it's in the morning. I don't think a lot of people stay up this late, but you can find really good moves pre-New York. So if I were to place a trade, I'd probably have like a 5 pip beater, so I'd probably space this out 5 pips. Or even like 3. I think that's good. If I was trading this breakout, so let's say if I hopped in, right, which I might in the next few minutes, I'll let you guys know. But if I were to hop in, could make this 10 pips too. But we'd honestly make this a nice 1 to 3, anticipating price to push down towards that demand, right? And fill this void. And again, price does push down, if it has a pullback, we would be in drawdown, but our stop loss would be safe if price decides to respect this range. So that's what I might do. That's what I might do, guys. Yeah. And the entry would be 1.1201. Red stop loss, minus, and then plus like this. So again, if you guys have the order that I placed, it's on the same pair. Hold on, it is. So if you have the old one that I placed yesterday on that buy stop, you can go ahead and delete it. We'll look to catch that breakout heading into next week. But for now, since price is nearing that support, we're looking to push price down. Okay. Or if you want, you can just keep that order. If you want to just keep it placed heading the next week, because the market's going to close tomorrow. I doubt we're going to have anything happening causing price to spike. You can just keep it for tomorrow, honestly. I think that would be easier. But GU, I'm going to go ahead and place that sell stop, guys. So stop loss 1.21. 301. Stop loss. TP. Oh, I have it written down. Okay. 921. And the only reason why I have this written out right here, guys, because I know sometimes it's hard to read these numbers. But I'm not always going to have my positions out like this. I think I'm only going to do it for London sessions or London streams. In this trade, guys, I'm only risking 1%. All right, and we're in. Let me go ahead and update OBS real quick. Properties. Okay, that's the wrong one. GBP, USD, and this is a sell stop, guys. Sell stop. And then we can say around 11 pips. Place an alert for BE, which means break even, moving our stop loss to entry so that we're in risk-free territory. And just in case I'm not paying attention, I'll put another alert at entry, and we'll just say activated. And now we're just chilling. And let me go ahead and document this too. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's go ahead and zoom out just a little bit. I'm gonna delete this for 1 second, guys. If you don't have it, I'll put it back up in a second. All right. And then let me go ahead and pull out my spreadsheet. Actually, we're gonna pull it up on this monitor. (10, 19, 2023). So this is GBP USD. This is a short. I feel like I always go for long positions. I think you rarely see me look for sales, guys, only because my brand also is a bull, which means bullish. But anyways, entry 1.2, 1210. Stop loss 1.21301. Take profit 1.20921. And the ratio is around 1 point. It is. I wasn't even paying attention. This should be 1 to 3, guys. So we're gonna make this 300. Sorry about that. So just change your TP to 1.20901. All right, cool. And then we say NA for now. This is trade 5. All right. Inactive. So if you guys are using a spreadsheet and you did place the buy stop for yesterday, which was on GU, you can just say inactive for now, but I'm gonna keep that play up for next week. But for now, you can just put inactive on your spreadsheet if you are using one. All right. So we just wait. I'll be back in the next 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm chilling, listening to music, and vibing. Alrighty, and the trade is activated. The trade is activated, guys. Alrighty, and the trade is activated. I think this is the only trade I'm gonna place for London, just so I can monitor it better. And I'm sorry, what was I gonna say? Heading to New York because I'm gonna do live streams back to back. We can find more setups, but I think for now I'm gonna be less aggressive. If price does decide to push down to the zone before New York, we can look for more setups if everything goes our way. If not, um, then we would just take that L. But if it does anticipate to push back down to that demand zone, we can be more aggressive in New York. So that's why I'm only placing one trade on GU for now. And this is a 1%, or I'm risking 1% in this trade, and I have a nice 1 to 3, so that if we do hit TP1, we can break even and just let it ride. But I'm only risking 1%, guys. EU looks like a better sell. What is that? What'd you say? EU looks like a better sell, I think. Okay, we can look at it in a second. EU. I'm not trading EU this morning. I think I did break it down earlier. So the only reason why I'm not selling EU is because I don't have previous structure to back up this bearish continuation. So you would be at risk. A lot of people are hopping in for a sell, or in my opinion, I think there was already an opportunity for a sell that a lot of people missed. So this would have been the nice pivotal point to enter in. But because that move was already passed, I don't really think you'd be in a safe position to enter in now for a sell, in my opinion. Unless you have your own chart analysis, feel free to send it as well, and I can break it down. But that's just my analysis. You know what I'm saying? So if you disagree, that's awesome. You can send me your chart. But that's just what I've seen happen over and over again, where people, they would think it's a nice fib continuation or bearish trend continuation. They hop in and they lose that trade because they don't have previous structure to back up that bias. So you want to make sure you have clear structure for that continuation. We have about 13 minutes. We're going to see what happens on that next opening candle. GU is pushing up a little bit. Hopefully we're not faked out. Hopefully price continues to push down and we have a nice opening below that newly formed resistance, right? Then we'd be in the clear. But we have 13 minutes, so we're going to see what happens. Low risk trade, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want me to analyze any pairs, feel free to send them my way. Otherwise, I'm going to be playing the patient game for the next 12 minutes. All right, and it is currently 2 o'clock. Let's go ahead and check the trade. Um, GU is starting to push into profit. It's a little stagnant. We're gonna see if we get that nice opening below that newly formed resistance. Let's go on the 1 hour real quick. Price has closed below that zone. Now, the only concern again is that pullback. Are we gonna hit BE before that pullback? Because if we do, we can make it a risk-free trade. Otherwise, we're just gonna write this down to TP1. And I heard a dang. What was that? GU. Let's check GU real quick, guys. Or was it? It was Euro JPY? No, Euro GBP. Oh, wow. So this is skyrocketing. But I'm not hopping in this trade only because this over here looks pretty choppy. So I'm gonna let Euro JPY, Euro GBP do its thing for now. Otherwise, we're just gonna be paying attention to GBP USD and anticipate price at TB1 so that we can break even and just let this bad boy ride. If you guys hopped in, that's great. I'm anticipating to again break even at TB1. If you miss the entry, I would just wait for the pullback. Otherwise, I'm just chilling. Or I'm sorry, otherwise you're just chilling. I wouldn't try to force an entry. I got no sleep. I'm probably gonna in stream in the next hour, take a 3-hour nap, and then come back up for New York. So we can talk about any trades that I took London, which was GU. So we'll see what happens in the next 30 minutes. Again, we don't have any news, so price is pretty stagnant. But we have something going on at 8:30. I'm gonna be post stream probably, because I'll end stream at 8:30 right when this happens. But this is on unemployment claims. So we'll see if it moves any of the pairs that we have listed, such as GU. Let's see if there's any more announcements here that came out. Oh, what the hell? Let's see if there's any news on GU. So GU hangs near weekly low below mid 2000s. Looks Fed powers for fresh impetus. I don't know how to say that word. The GPU pair struggles to gain any meaningful traction on Thursday and oscillates in a narrow band below mid 1200s during the Asian session. Spot prices flirt with lower end of 1 week holding trade range, awaiting fresh catalyst before next leg of directional move. Can you explain why I took the trade? Sure. I can definitely do that for you, DeMarco. And I'm going to come back to this and explain any hints in the market, which is why I took the trade as well when we talk about fundamental analysis. So if I missed that, just let me know. But if we go back on GU, let's see how it's going. All right, cool. So we're about 3 pips away from TP1. But the reason why I took the trade, right? Notice how we're in a range 2, right? Look at the numbers that I posted. We have 1, 2, 3. Range 2, price is obviously ranging for some time. And then we have this touch that a lot of buyers capitalize on for a buy, right? A lot of people are buying at that area. And again, it's not one person in the market. There are thousands, hundreds of people hopping in. So because we have all these traders or all these buyers right here, that area between your stop loss and entry is holding a lot of value that eventually needs to be grabbed by the other players. Because again, the market is made up of what? Winners and losers. So if you lose a trade, it's not just disappearing. It's not just going into the void. People are grabbing your orders. People are making money off your losses. So with that information, most of these smart money concept people, these institutions, know that the average retail trader is only trading support and resistance. They know that the average trader is just looking at support and resistance and trading those levels once price hits another touch, just trading off of one confirmation. But what I'm saying is, having that visual idea that we have liquidity above this zone is good because if we have a breakout, we know that price is going to grab these orders. And then if it wants to have a pullback, it will, and then respect its newly formed range, which is this right here. And in this range, looking at one right here, I was able to identify some sort of demand. So if price is looking for some sort of attraction, it's going to go towards a zone before having another pushback up. So we're simply trading this breakout and waiting to see where we're going to have a pullback. But we're having a nice breakout entry because of that nice confluence of liquidity being placed below that zone. So that's why I anticipated price to push down instead of up. Now, let's say price did decide to push up and it wasn't yet ready to have that breakout. It's only building up more liquidity to have that eventual push throughout the week. So it's not a bad thing if price decided to push back up. The only bad thing that could happen in this scenario is that price faked out. In order to avoid a fake out, you want to wait for a confirmation saying, hey, price is pushing in this range. Let's wait for the next interval. You're trading on the 1 hour to have that candle opening below that newly formed resistance. So in this scenario, we waited for the 1 hour candlestick to form and notice how it closed below that zone. But we were fortunate enough to catch that breakout entry instead of waiting to have that confirmation. So we're just basically hopping in earlier than most traders, so that if we hit TP1, we can make it a risk-free trade before we have that pullback. If that wasn't clear, let me know if I need to explain it again. Sometimes I explain things that make sense to me and not the average trader. But that was my explanation on why I took this setup, DeMarco. So again, best scenario is that price hits TP1 before we have the pullback. Worst scenario is price decides to just push back in range 2, but that's less likely since we have an opening below that range. Right now, all these orders are being grabbed. But yeah, in the next 30 minutes, hopefully we do hit TP1. That we can make this a risk-free trade. Or honestly, if you guys are in this trade and you want to just take that 1-to-1, you can as well. Sometimes I take that. There's nothing wrong with just taking a nice 1-to-1, especially if you're in profit throughout the week. That's what I did on Euro USD, I think Tuesday. So, but low risk, guys, low risk. There's no reason why you should be over risking. Low risk. Thanks, I understand. Cool. If you have any more questions like that, please feel free to ask. And if you have any pairs you want me to analyze as well, please feel free to shoot them my way. I love analyzing pairs for you guys that you trade as well. The whole objective is for you to take in my information, mix it in with your own strategy and system so that you can be independent and you won't have to rely on me 24/7. You just pop up TradingView and just trade. You don't have to be on YouTube. You don't have to be looking up to all these other gurus, especially me. I'm dissing myself. You don't have to be looking up to me. You can just trade on your own. But my whole objective for these live streams is for you guys to get the information for free so that you guys don't have to pay for all this other stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be chilling for the next like 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just vibing the music and relaxing. All right. So I'll be back. All right, so it is now 2:15. Price is pulling back, pushing up. Oh wow. So we are in drawdown now. If price does decide to push back up and it does continue to push back in the range too, we'll just have to find another type of setup heading to New York. Let's go ahead and lower this real quick. Price is currently pushing back on GU, guys. If you're in, you should be in some sort of drawdown. But like I mentioned before, if we do get stomped, I'd be looking for another type of entry, New York. One thing I noticed on this pair as well, so when we talk about fake outs, right? Although we did get a nice opening below that candle or that zone, it was still in formation. So notice how the candle is still pushing in and out of that newly formed resistance. So ideally what you want to see is a nice closure below the zone. So this could be a fake out. If it is, we'll look for another entry, New York stream, which is perfectly fine. Especially if you guys use low risk, if we're already up 2% this week, you should be in a good position. But that's just one thing I noticed when it comes to fake outs. So notice how this wick was that wick that took these orders out and then decided to push back in. So that's what you'll usually see below or above a zone if there's some sort of value floating. But in this scenario, if it does fake out, perfectly fine. We'll look for another entry. It's not the end of the world, especially heading into this with low risk with a profitable week. So not tripping, guys. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We have about 10 more minutes for the next 30-minute interval. Let's check Euro JPY real quick. Not too much is going on there. Gold has not been moving, just like the announcement on FX Street. It's been consolidating above that newly formed support. And if this does decide to fake out, if it does push up and hit our stop loss, this only allows our setup to have a better opportunity later next week. If it does decide to eventually push into range 1. So we might have just experienced a fake out, truthfully, which is perfectly okay. We have about 5 more minutes. We're gonna see what happens. This isn't B. this. We're going to see what happens in the next 2 minutes. We might have to close and draw down, guys. And usually what I tell people, if you have a good analysis, just let the trade play out. Even if it's your stop loss, if you use low risk, you have nothing to worry about. So if this is our first L for the week, I'll take it. This is Thursday, so I'm really not tripping, guys. We're still ending the week in profit, or at least for now. We'll see if we have another setup in New York. But if this is the first L for the week, perfectly fine. I'm chilling. But if we are still in drawdown in the next minute, I'm probably just going to close. If you aren't using risk management, then I would say close now. But if you're using risk management and you're in profit already throughout the week, you're chilling. Because realistically, in this trade, those orders were grabbed, but what we're experiencing right now is some sort of fake out if price decides to still range in range 2 or continue to start pushing up in range 2. So it is now 2:30. I'm going to go ahead and close my trade. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this as close and drawdown. This is what? This is like 3 pips away from stop loss. So let me go ahead and document this. Give me 1 second, guys. Also, every time I do lose a trade like this, I always ask myself, how could I have approached this better? Knowing that my analysis was correct. Price did eventually have a breakout. It did take these orders, but it did fake out. So how would I come at this type of setup again? Because I'm going to see it over and over again. How do I avoid a fake out, right? Do I lower my risk or my stop loss? Excuse me. Do I lower my stop loss so that my TP is closer? Do I just wait for that pullback? Those are all the questions that are going through my mind every time I lose a trade. I don't just lose a trade and say, oh, I suck. I lose a trade and say, okay, how can I improve? You know? How can I approach these type of setups better? In general, it is hard to trade. Like, it is hard to avoid fake outs. It's going to happen, guys, especially if you have a wick like this. you can clearly understand that some orders were grabbed before it pushed back up into range 2. So fake outs in general can be annoying, but you can also learn from them. In this situation, we most likely just got faked out because we didn't wait for that close below that newly formed resistance. But you guys will see stuff happen like this all the time. Okay, let me go ahead and document this. So exit. Closed. And drawdown. And that was, okay. So if you didn't close and drawdown, stop loss was hit. This was 121. 2K8. Alright, cool. Copy link. Edit link. Spaces here. All right. So we're gonna flag this. We'll talk about it New York. I'm gonna flag this orange, or let's flag it blue for review. And we'll come back at 6:30 to that pair. Euro JPY is looking so good, guys. I hope we get this. If I see something tomorrow, I don't trade on Fridays, but if price is nearing that resistance, I might have to trade. I might have to go live too. We'll see. Because that's looking really good. Gold is still stagnant, guys. But we will come back to this for review. I might make a video today about it. I might just keep you guys updated on the community tab. I'm not in Discord until Sunday, so we will see. But we're definitely going to review this trade. Analysis was pretty decent. It was just that fake out, right? We didn't have a nice closure below that zone, and the price decided to continue to push back up. But we will definitely review this because you will see something like this happen all the time. It's about how you execute. But we have about 25 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Any pairs you're going to analyze, go ahead and do so. But we have officially taken our first L of the week. Let me go ahead and update OBS. All right, so win-loss ratio, that's 1. We were so close to BE, guys. So close, but it's okay. And then monthly. Trades taken live, GU. Okay, cool. Everything should be updated. So I do have that buy stop still placed from yesterday. Just in case, as we head into next week, if I'm not paying attention, I'll understand why I had that buy stop placed, so I can remind myself that GU is still valid to the upside. If it does decide to range and come back to that nearest resistance, that setup that I still have placed for range 3 is still valid, guys. 100%. So I'll just keep it there on my account. And I'll just put an alert. What is this? Activated. Yeah, I'll just keep it there, honestly. It's not a big deal. But we have about 20 more minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and stream. If you guys have any questions, ask away. If you guys did hop in, hopefully you use risk management. Hopefully you understood why I hopped in as well. I'm not 100%, guys. I'd be lying if I said I won all my trades. There's no trader that wins all other trades. It's just not possible. Unless you're from the future. But first L of the week, I'm chilling. I'm still in profit. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask away though. Just for some quick announcements as well, guys. I am moving this week, so that's why there's all that stuff in the background. It's kind of unorganized, but I think I'm moving Friday or Saturday. So next week, background should be looking different. And then I'm gonna be out of town the first weekend of November. So I don't think it's gonna affect anything. I think I'm gonna be able to be live that first week as well. So I think my live streams are gonna continue, but I am gonna be moving. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff. So if I'm not active on social media on the weekend, if I'm not active even throughout the week, it's because I'm moving and handling stuff off camera. But I will be back on Discord this Sunday. I will start posting more stuff on Instagram, and I will update all my links. I know my website is down. I know my links don't work. All that stuff, the description will be updated by the end of this week as well. And then I have a surprise this weekend. I have a surprise this weekend for people that enjoy watching YouTube videos. I can't say too much though. But it's something I'm excited. I think it should be announced Saturday. When's the 21st? Is it Saturday? Today's the 19th. Yep, Saturday. So definitely excited for that. And that's it. Otherwise, I'm just going to be consistent, guys. My schedule is not going to change. It's going to be live streams 6:30 to 8:30, and then I'll have secret streams posted on Tuesdays and Thursdays for London. We have about 15 minutes. If you guys have any questions, ask away. Otherwise, we're just gonna review for or I'm gonna end stream, and then we'll be back for New York to review that loss on GU. If we see any setups, we'll take them to end the week off. So I'm not gonna be live tomorrow, guys. So technically, this is my last day. So again, we don't have too much going on this morning, except at 8:30 we have unemployment claims on USD. Although it's generally viewed as a lagging indicator, the number of unemployed people is an important signal of overall economic health because consumer spending is highly correlated with labor market conditions. Unemployment is also a major consideration for those steering in countries' monetary policy. I think at the start of next month, because we have one more week before November, right? Yep, we do. I'll make a poll to see if you guys prefer London streams or New York streams more. Because my schedule is going to be Monday, New York, and then that morning, London, and then heading into New York that Tuesday. And then Wednesday is going to be New York. And then heading into Thursday, it's going to be like this. So I'll have 2 London streams, Monday through Thursday, and I'll have 4 New York streams. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, New York, and then Tuesday and Thursdays will be a secret London stream like this. That's what I might do to be consistent. We have about 10 more minutes. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask anything. It doesn't have to be Forex related. It can be anything. Please feel free to ask away. Otherwise, I'm just chilling, listening to music, vibing. Getting ready for this power nap I'm going to take before New York. I think someone asked on Monday, should you start trading? Or I think they asked, should you start doing like funding challenges now? Honestly, I think quarter 4 is the perfect time to do it. Or just to trade from what I've seen in the market, doing this now for 4 years plus. Quarter 1 and quarter 4 are the best times to trade. Quarter 2 it starts to slow down, and then heading into summer it's pretty much dead for those 3 months. And then at the beginning of September it starts to pick back up. October you see really good setups. November you see really good setups, and then slows down just a little bit in December because of the holidays, but then it picks back up on January, and then you have some pretty good sessions throughout the whole quarter until we reach like March, April, May, June, July, and then it starts to kind of slow down into the summer. So I think this is the best time to trade in my opinion, quarter 4, September, October, November, December. Those 4 months, best times you can trade. And that's just my opinion. It's not a fact, guys. It's just an opinion. So yeah, what I might do as well, guys, I might start making clips again for losses, explaining why trades went haywire. I think that would be a good idea as well, so people can see I'm not just 100%. So people can see that I'm learning from my mistakes as well, or I'm learning from my losses, so that people can get an idea of what trading is really about. Because I don't want to just post all the good stuff on Instagram, all the things that work. I also want to post all the things that don't work. So in this example, like getting faked out, I think that would be a good idea. So that's what I might do in New York. When I'm explaining my loss on GU, I might just make a clip out of that to post on IG later this weekend. I might do that. But we'll see. At the moment, it's a one-man ship, guys. I'm doing everything by myself. We'll see if I have the time for it. But we have about 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. Otherwise, I'm just chilling. And then we'll see if we can find any re-entries New York, which is at 6:30. I think someone asked earlier if I would sell Euro USD. So as you can see, it's pushing up. So if you were to hop in right now, I think it would be a really bad time. Again, all I'm seeing is this type of point in the market where people might have hopped in for sells, right? Or I'm sorry, right here. But there's not a lot of previous structures to support this bearish continuation. So notice how price got really stagnant and then now it's pushing up. So I think if you were to hop into a sell, it would have to be at this point. Have about 1 more minute. You guys have any last questions? Last second questions for to ask. Otherwise, I'm going to end stream in a few seconds. And I'll do in announcements as well. Alrighty, so like I stated before, guys, I'm gonna be moving either tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm not gonna be doing too much this weekend. I'm gonna be updating everything, website, all the links. I'm gonna be back on Discord Sunday. Otherwise, I'm just posting content on Instagram, and I should be live again at 6:30. And I'll keep my schedule posted this weekend as well for my live streams. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, I appreciate you, Danny Viking, Emerald, Ibanala, DeMarco. Appreciate you guys for stepping in. If you guys stepped in and stepped out, appreciate you as well. Anyone that's watching this post stream, I appreciate you as well. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. We did take a loss, but we always learn from our mistakes. I'm going to go ahead and make a recap video so you guys can also see the breakdown if you missed it. And that will be everything. Till then, I'll see you guys in a few hours. If not, I'll see you next week. Take care. Have a good morning. And I'm out.